find one complex vulnerabilities and stuff. So I want to say to you, see the cyber attack system have really shifted, and then we are in a days whereby what the attacker is looking for is a key, and one of that key is identity. Is identity. So in real life, your who you are is your real life, your face, your fingerprint. You have your national ID to present as who you are. But when it comes to online, your email identifies you, your username identifies you, your password they identify you, your phone identifies you, and so the combination of all of this digital identity they represent your digital kingdom. So what an attacker is trying to find is not just your data. They are looking for your credentials. An attacker is looking for your credentials. And credential represents your login password, your username, and your password. And once an attacker has an access to your credential, they can represent you. So do you understand what I'm saying? So once they have access to all of these, they can do and undo. Yes, they try to impersonate who you are, because your credentials are your key. They are the key to your entire digital kingdom. So one of the reasons why identity protection, and I want to say to us that cybersecurity literally didn't start from the IT guys. It started from us too. It started from everybody, in an organization. It started from our daily habits in our daily lives. There was a case study of attack in Twitter, where Twitter accounts were hijacked in 2020, where attackers, we learned about social engineering yesterday from Mr. Gola, where they engineered some Twitter employers to, and they accessed the internal system. They hijacked the account of Barack Obama. And so in that day of that attack, if Barack Obama comes to chat with you, you feel like this is Barack Obama, whereby his identity has been hijacked. Do you get what I'm saying? So we look at who is your identity. We also look at what is access. So access is why identity is what proves who you are. Access is what determines what you can do. So in cybersecurity, it is called authorization. So what you are allowed to open, the action you can perform, to edit, to delete, update, and whatever thing you want to do to your data. It also verifies levels for different. It verifies who you are, and so authorization simply means that in cybersecurity, like I said, we call it authorization, which is your access. Means deciding what action you are permitted to perform. For example, now when we go to banks, when we go to bank, any branch banks we go to, maybe Access Bank or GT, you will see every staff with their ID card. Not just bank. I just use bank as a case study. So you have organizations with staff members with their ID card, but not every staff member can approve 10 million transfer. Not every staff member can do this. So I'm bringing this scenario to help us see our daily lives to that. When it comes to the digital kingdom, when it comes to the digital world, so access and identity is a crucial thing we must not look away from, because access differs the base based on the role you played. Your phone. Okay, for example, now you download the flashlight application, and it's giving, many of us, when we download apps, we ask access, allow permission to do this, permission to your contact, allow access to your microphone, allow access to your location. So imagine downloading a flashlight, and it's asking you allow access to your location, allow access to your contact, allow access to your microphone. So what did the flashlights need that for? Why did the flashlights need to? Why do you have to grant them unnecessary permission into your phone, into your gadget? Just a flashlight. What did they want to know in your contact? So I'm trying to say this because many of us unconsciously, when we download app, we just allow. So when we take our time to look at, okay, this app really needs to access my location, really needs to access my contact. Okay, so we can't just, as in this digital world, just allow and permit every application permit every application into whatever data we have on our phone. So it's a culture we must also embrace and cultivate in our daily usage of applications, or when we even go to webs. So granting unnecessary permission will just increase our attack surface thereabout, and then our attack surface means the number of entry points an attack can exploit. So the more permission you allow, the bigger you are exposed. The bigger you are exposed. So what did I mean when we talk about identity and access? Like I said that access means authorization. You decide what you can do, and then identity proves who you are, which is authentication. So, for example, I wanted to look at it in this form that authentication is the front gate to your house, and authorization is the internal door into your room, where you have your properties, where you have your precious assets in your room. So many breaches happens today not because organization protect the front door, but some people ignore the internal door. Yes, so some organizations they ignore the internal door. Yes, we have the security, but we see many organizations, we see many case study of how companies are hacked just because they refuse to pay attention to access. So, like I said earlier on, that one of the things we are dealing with is why password fails. So the aim of an attacker is literally to impersonate you in the digital kingdom as though this is who you are. Yesterday, I remember Mr. Golan giving us a scenario about when he had the call. I actually had that too. I believe 90% of everyone on this call have a scenario whereby people just call you on WhatsApp and tell you, I belong to a group, you're having a meeting there about, and no, a code have been sent to you. No, do you see that? So he was giving a scenario about that. So they are life case study for us, even if they don't happen to us, to also learn from, not just hearing them. So password will fail for three reasons. Like I said, that the current digital world is beyond just using password. So now password fail for three main reasons. Even when you use password alone, number one, we're using people will use password. The same password you use for your Gmail is the same password you use for your Facebook account. It's the same password you use for your Slack account. It's the same password you use for your just once go back to that. Can I save? Just yes, save this password. So that once you want to log in, you just Google come and Chrome come and remind you and just log in. So this is we was also talking about phishing. So this is where phishing comes into play. Like phishing means like a fake message or fake email that is designed to trick you and engineer you into revealing your password. So there are many Nigerians today that you receive message like your account has been suspended. Click here to verify. People enter their login details and minutes later their money disappeared. The truth is that the bank was not hacked. You were just hacked. So they only impersonate your identity and your access on in the back sector and the back system. So your identity was just handed over by just clicking on those links or submitting your logins. So we have come to a place whereby I'm still dealing with password first. There was a LinkedIn data leak a particular time where millions of credentials were leaked. So, and do you know what the attacker did? They reused them everywhere. I mean, elsewhere apart from LinkedIn. So it is called credential stuffing. Credential stuffing means that an attacker using a stolen login detail from one site to attempt login on another site or many sites automatically. So once you use the same password for your Facebook, your Instagram, your email, your Slack, and other websites you log into or you submit your credentials. So it is easy because attackers they understand by human nature. Humans are predictable. They are predictable. So the solution to one of these when it comes to using password is never reuse password. Don't reuse password. Never reuse password. Reusing password will bring us to that point where, if for example you submit your credentials, probably your ATM card details on the website, and then the website was hacked, the data was breached, and they have access to your credentials, to your login, so they can also let me. So I have a scenario where I went for a master class for bug bounty hunting, class. So the lecturer told us it was a physical class, so he gave us an assignment that we should try to break in into his website. He gave us his own good website to try breaking. He just gave us the username and the username, which is the mail. The mail. So email is very easy to even get nowadays. You can get people's mail. You can just get people's mail. So he gave us his email to log in into the account. So so I was expecting that we are going to use a tool to just break in, dictionary attack and stuff to break in into that website. But this lady just sat down on the laptop and she was guessing password. She was guessing, and I was like, how many password do you want to guess to log in or to get into this website? And the lecturer said I should leave her alone. That this is what attacker. So it taught me a good lesson. That this is what attacker. See, attacker they have your time. They have the time to guess TAIWO 123. They have the you can get TAIWO AKINMOSIN 123. They have the time. She sat down till she almost got it. I think she was missing maybe the um, art art symbol, and then he said this is it. So he just gave her and he just gave that. He just want to show me that attacker can guess your password. So people are predictable. People are predictable. Don't say they don't know me. No, they check about you online. They make research about you. Okay, this is what you know. So so don't the using of password is very very dangerous in this current digital kingdom, digital world. So there are real life breach scenarios where uh, we have real life. So um, an example is this domino effect. One weak password, and then there's an entry and the site is compromised. So where the attacker tried the same password on every mail, tried the same password on the banks and the corporate VPN. So there was an attack in 2021, a colonial pipeline attack in 2021, where a simple compromised VPN password without MFA. We are going to MFA. That is I just want to help us see what password can do to us and the weakness in using password, and then how it can affect our identity and our access. So there was this compromised VPN password. They didn't have a MFA wasn't activated, so it led to fuel shutdown, millions in ransom, and then national destruction. So because one identity, but it caused massive consequences, caused massive. And there was also an attack in South Africa, a Transnet cyber attack in 2021, South Africa, whereby a major logistic company was hit by ransomware. So what is the cause of all of this? It start from the entry point, whereby a user use and a one week password, and then you can be guessed, or even by phishing, maybe by dictionary attack or whatever attack the attacker intend to use. So and then it spread right from the user down to the organization, and then it result into a breach, full control of sensitive personal identity, so personal data. So it is very crucial that we must understand that an attacker, they've shifted in their goal, they've shifted in their system and strategy. Your identity is the key, and once they have identity to your key, then that's just all. Once they have identity to your key, the identity is the entry point into your digital kingdom. So I want us to move to the next slide, which is the modern identity protection. Modern identity protection. We have the MFA. The MFA is the means multi-factor authentication. Multi-factor authentication. It is the key there. The key there I want us to note is the multi. Is the multi. So the multi is the key word. So instead of one piece of, so the solution to passwords, instead of the one key to access your data, to access your credentials online. So instead of the one piece of evidence, which is the password, MFA requires two separate identity before it can grant you access to your data online, before it can grant you access into an organization, grant you access into your bank account, or even your mail. Yeah, so it is a three layer. It uses something you know, which is your password. It uses something you have, which is your phone, and something you have, which is your fingerprint. Thank God for the advancements in technology. Many Android phones and iPhones, they have their biometric pattern, fingerprint, to access your phone, fingerprint. There are sometimes that I don't know, maybe many of us have that security whereby you want to access something even on your phone, it requires your fingerprint and also your password, your PIN. So now here is the power. You see, Google found out that enable device-based MFA blocks nearly 100% attack. Yes, 100% attack. 100% attack. So we have the MFA. We talked about the face or fingerprint ID and also an alert. So a good example is our email. So many of us, I don't know, but I know we still have some people. I'm still surprised. Some people still have their email. They don't have two-step verification activated on their email. They don't have a recovery account or the recovery number for their email, and they are using their email just like that. So it's just like I said, that it is beyond the organization. Cybersecurity start from us. Is an habit we must first cultivate. It's not just for the IT guys, they are the one in charge to secure us. No, it starts from you too. Beyond the organization data, you can be breached, you can be hacked, and it starts from not being careful, not paying attention to your identity and your access in the digital world. So, so there was a time where where attackers they convince the telecom agent, MTN or Glo or Airtel to transfer your number, and then they can intercept your OTP message. So we see MFA in place even in your SIM, where you can enable your SIM lock. Yes, there are apps like password manager who help you manage your password instead of learning many password, instead of bringing together I have to you don't have to do that. So there are password managers who can manage your password, and there are apps that authenticate, and like I said, your fingerprints they are there. It's two-step verification, and then your recovery mail. So here and there, so they are very very crucial. Not just leaving them to the IT guys. I'm speaking about our personal life and how we relate in the digital world. So let us look at the access best practice. So one of the best practice is less privilege. So when you only give what is needed, like I said, imagine in downloading a flashlight. The other apps so that it demands your location. Like what did I need my location? So we need to pay keen attention to this. And see, you can't just many times we will not even observe. We might even be in a hurry to download an app and you really want to use it. But once we begin to cultivate and pay attention to every app you download, and you look at what am I giving access to, giving access to my contact, giving access to my location. So when you pay keen attention, even when it is needed, you must still pay keen attention, because in cultivating these habits, we help you see it in the day you download an app that really need you not to grant access to something on your phone. So once that habit is not there, to be you even paying attention to that. And that's one of the reasons why we have this session to also paying attention. Cybersecurity starts from us. So so less privilege means giving only the minimum access needed. And I think I read about a target breach in 2013 when an attacker entered through a vendor account with excess access, and they moved into the payment system. So it is called lateral movement. So it means that an attacker moved from one compromised system to another internally. Imagine, hacking. For example, I remember, this is it's not a big example. I'm just trying to show us a scenario of such practice here in Bincom. I think when we were transferred to Bincom Dev Center, and I was also on the income apprentice, I noticed I was being removed. So for example, let's for example, I have access to many things from the apprenticeship channel on Slack, and then I also have full access. So even if I'm attacked, I know it doesn't really make sense as a real life scenario, but I'm just trying to say, to give us a picture that even if I'm attacked directly, they won't even have access to some channels on their apprentice channel. Of course, I know that they are minimal information, but I'm trying to show us that when we give excessive access to an account that is not even needed. So, for example, if you use your laptop as a administration daily, see, malware can install system wide. So, if you use a standard account, your damage is still limited. So, there are many effects to that. They reduce power and they reduce damage. So, I'm saying that giving minimal access to or excessive access is very 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 poor in managing an organization, because I know that of course many of us we might move beyond the income and also have our own system and structures too. So we also have the role based access, fit for the job. We have the cleanup once and remove old access. Like I said before, I don't have access to that platform on channel or Slack. I was just being removed. That is a big secret. It might not really look like a big something, but cultivating that act, like I said, cultivating that habit will really give us a sense of doing that in the day we come into a scenario as such as this, an approval. So checking before getting granting approval, it is very very crucial. So then we on to the last slide, which is slide 10. So we see stronger strategy using face passphrases. So when passphrase means that the longer your password is, the stronger it is. So for example, I can say My password is my name is TAIWO AKINMOSIN at 2026. You see, no, like I said, I'm not saying that password is not needed. Even when we are using password, we can also make use of passphrases, not just time working at 2026. And attacker, they make attempts, they have dictionary attacks on stuff like that. So another thing is using a password manager, like I mentioned earlier. It creates and stores unique password securely for every app. For example, you want to log into your LinkedIn, the password manager grants you access, grants you a password to log into LinkedIn. And also, you also have to not just your password, also your biometrics too. You need your fingerprints, you need your PIN if necessary, not just a one layer access to to your digital space. So, and one thing I want us to know again is that if this slight inconvenience, some people might be like, when I start, I cannot be typing many passwords. I have to be like that. I can let me just use one password for everything. So, in as much this slight inconvenience, in as much as it is not easy for you to even access your own data. So, what should we talk about the attackers? Even when they have access to your password, then what about the second layer of your identity? What about the second layer of using it? They have to. So many of us, there was a feature on OP where you have to open your mouth and shake your head. People smile. There are features with Lele. I'm sorry for saying that, but say what kind of feature is this? I have to open my mouth because I want to transfer more than this, some thousands of naira. It is called MFE. So if it is that hard for you to access your own money, if it is that hard for you to access your own data, so what should we think about attacker? So it even brings the end of the play to an attacker in reaching you. So we must ensure that we enable, like I said, know the use of email, MFA always. Enable MFA, multi-factor MFA, enable MFA everywhere. Your email first, because your email controls your password recovery for almost everything. And once an attacker have an access to it, just forget your password. Imagine me log into your mail and just forget your password. I can just forget your password, and I can create another password to log into your mail. From there, I will have access to your bank account. I will have access to your bank account, have access to your credit alert, your debit alert, and other potential and important data. So another thing is reviewing apps permission regularly and also remove unnecessary passes. So the key takeaways, we talked about identity, um, who you are. We talked about the MFA, which is your best defense beyond password. You need password, but your best defense in this current digital space, this digital world where we have millions of automated attacks, is your MFA, and then the user, you are in the first line. You must understand that you're in the first. So security starts with our simple choices. We start with our simple habits. So thank you. So this is the end of my presentation. So I want you to understand that security starts with you, with your phone, your mail, your habits. So when individual becomes hard targets, organization also becomes resilient. So an attacker prefer easy victims, and once they feel that you are not easy, so I'm charging you today. Do not be easy. Thank you. So I will welcome questions. I will now welcome questions and ask my question.
Yeah, well done, Taiwo. Hello, Taiwo, are you with me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Yes, well done for the presentation. You have really done well. Yeah, please, I have a question. The question is, what are the implications of allowing cookies when we are browsing on a website? You get that?
Can you come again, sir? Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah, implication of allowing cookies when we are browsing on websites.
Okay. So one thing about cookies is that can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I'm with you, 100%.
Okay, so allowing cookies is cookies are just records of your footprint. Please, can you please unmute your mic because I can hear some echoes from that.
Okay.
So cookies are just, for example, when you log
No.
into pincom.com and then you want to, they record your sessions and your footprint online literally. So allowing cookies literally does not really affect many things in quotes. There are websites that they literally need to allow cookies so that it will, when you log into those websites, it will whether you when you log into those websites, it will give you the room to continue from where you start, probably your sessions, or you have to log in again here and there. So once you come in, they are just your footprint online on websites. So they don't really basically mean that I know there are times to me personally, to be sincere, I don't allow some cookies because I don't trust every website thereabouts. So you imagine log into a website, put in your credentials, and then allow cookies on the website that is not properly secured. So it really goes a long way. So you just have to be very careful in trusting websites. So there are
All right,
times you have
thank
to
you.
really accept cookies, and there are times you should not do that.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Is any other question before I ask my questions? Can I proceed to ask my questions?
Yes, please, Taiwo, go ahead and ask your
Okay,
question.
okay. So I want to ask just a simple question. Um, I just want someone just give a description on that. So if an attacker, if your phone, if anybody have access to your phone currently, uh, how many of information can they get? Literally, if they have access to your phone, how many of informations can they get? Literally, I want you to check yourself and just, I think you can learn from it, or probably the security practices you put into measures